After 12 years and 279 episodes, The Big Bang Theory wrapped up its run in 2019, and the final shows were crammed full of references to past storylines and characters. Here's a look at everything that went down and why it all matters to the overall Big Bang Theory universe. Long-running sitcom finales almost always involve a big dramatic event. Characters move away, or a romantic will they or won't they thread ends happily, or some other big goal is achieved. For a show like The Big Bang Theory, about adults who have almost all married and become successful in their professions, that kind of big change wouldn't have rung true. Instead, the writers found an ending that made sense for its world-class scientist characters, while also resolving a plotline that stretched throughout the show's 12th and final season. Physicist Sheldon Cooper and his wife, neuroscientist Amy Farrah Fowler, win the Nobel Prize for Physics for their work on superasymmetry. It's the ultimate goal of every scientist, and one Sheldon specifically and frequently mentioned throughout the series.
So you really think that I'm the kind of man who would sell out his partner for the chance of winning a Nobel Prize?
Are you?
Boy, I hope not.
Receiving this honor also gives the show an excuse for a big destination finale. So you guessed it, the whole gang decides to accompany Sheldon and Amy to the Nobel Awards ceremony in Sweden. Over the course of nearly 300 episodes, The Big Bang Theory developed quite a few running gags, recurring bits, and even unsolved mysteries. The finale gave fans what they wanted, delivering on those lengthy setups and wrapping things up nicely along the way. Viewers finally learn why Leonard dresses the way he does, forever sporting at least 2 layers on his upper body despite living in sunny California. Leonard reveals that he's always rocking a hooded sweatshirt because he's constantly chilly. This, of course, is Sheldon's fault. He insists that the thermostat be kept at an uncomfortably low temperature. The show's longest-running gag is also resolved. After years of walking up and down the stairs, a mechanical miracle occurs. With a simple ding, Penny emerges from the elevator that's been out of order since the first episode aired in 2007.
Can you believe it? They finally fixed the elevator.
Plus, a couple of the show's most predominant recurring characters get cameos in the final episodes, doing exactly the type of things that made them so beloved. John Ross Bowie reprises his role as Sheldon's workplace nemesis Barry. He prank calls a very nervous Sheldon as he waits to hear from the Nobel Committee. Also, the perpetually unlucky Stuart shows up for a quick scene. Howard and Bernadette video chat with him as they realize he was the wrong person to babysit their children.
Okay, so everyone's happy and healthy?
Well, that depends.
What's that mean?
How many teeth did Hallie have when you left?
Even a double episode with nearly 45 minutes of running time, however, wasn't enough to wrap up every storyline from the show's extensive past. When the series began in 2007, all 4 male main characters were single and socially awkward. By the end, 3 of them, Sheldon, Leonard, and Howard, found love and are happily married. That just leaves Raj, the most lovelorn of them all, as the sole bachelor. The series ends with Raj just as single as when it started, although he almost got married in the final season. Luckily, there may be a glimmer of hope for his love life. On the flight over to Sweden, Raj ends up in a seat next to Sarah Michelle Gellar, who was TV's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Somehow, he manages to convince her to attend the Nobel ceremony with him, which was a huge surprise to everyone.
Is that Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
And as for The Big Bang Theory's most enduring question, well, it didn't get answered, and it probably never will. Before she became Mrs. Penny Hofstadter, Penny's last name was never mentioned. Even when relatives visited, writers were careful to let the mystery remain unsolved. A huge amount of the show's stories, jokes, and character quirks revolved around Sheldon being picky, self-centered, arrogant, controlling, and unabashed about all of it.
I'm sorry, did I upset you?
Yes!
Ask me how I feel about that.
Most viewers have probably wondered why Amy and the others can tolerate such an intolerable man. Throughout the finale, almost every character has finally had enough of Sheldon's behavior, and they let him know it. Leonard confronts him when, after being told that Penny is pregnant, Sheldon's merely glad that she's got morning sickness and not a virus that he might catch. When Sheldon tells Amy that he doesn't intend to be so mean, she drops the bomb that this obliviousness is the only reason why his entire group of friends hasn't walked out on him. Sheldon's behavior is so terrible that Howard, Bernadette, Leonard, and Penny all make plans to head home early and skip the ceremony. But this is an upbeat network sitcom, so that's not gonna happen. The whole gang is in the audience when Amy and Sheldon accept science's highest honor. Both characters deliver touching speeches. One speaks to the show's legacy, and the other provides a happy, tear-jerking moment. The Big Bang Theory casually demystified science for millions and probably inspired more than a few kids to be scientists. In real life, actress Mayim Bialik has a PhD in neuroscience from UCLA. Reflecting this passion, her character Amy gives a powerful speech encouraging young girls who dream of a career in science to go for it, no matter what.
It is the greatest job in the world. And if anybody tells you you can't, don't listen.
Then it's Sheldon's turn. Stunned that his friends have stuck around to cheer him on after his terrible behavior, he ignores the novel-length self-aggrandizing speech he prepared. Instead, he speaks from the heart and thanks his friends and wife for their years of support. Sheldon also apologizes for not always being a great friend and lets them know how he truly feels.
But I want you to know, in my way, I love you all.
This beloved series could very well have ended in that auditorium in Sweden, but that was just the show's climax. It needed an epilogue. At its heart, The Big Bang Theory is a show about friendship and how powerful it is when misfits grow up and create their own families of kindred spirits. So much of the series consisted of the 7 featured characters hanging out in the main apartment set, gathering each evening to eat takeout. And that was the perfect final image for The Big Bang Theory. A group of close friends casually hanging out as the camera eases away and the series fades into TV history. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.